Hey, this is Steve Bloom, and you are listening to the Geekcast Radio Network.
Hi, this is Pat Fraley, purveyor of Duck Dog and Felon voices, and you're watching Altered Geek.
Hello and welcome to Altered Geek Unlimited, episode 43. I'm your host, Steve Megatron Phillips, and joining me this week is...
Steve, Jim, and Mike.
And Mike Powers.
Yo.
Yo.
Hello.
Yeah, you might be wondering why it says episode 43 and not 42. Well...
42 has become the lost episode.
It will be sprinkled in after the credits of episode 43.
Yeah. So, what have you guys been doing lately?
I've spent the last week playing some games and downloading / buying more games that I probably won't play.
What I've been meaning to ask you, what is your deal with your funk on video games? You keep buying them, yet you won't play them right away. What's going on with you? You all right?
You know, I don't know what it... Okay, here's what I think it is. I used to work 2 days a week.
Mm-hmm.
And it was that way for, well, since 2009.
Mm-hmm.
So basically I worked 104 days out of the year. And so I needed to find ways to spend my time. So I played a lot of games. And that's what I did. And then I got a second job, which I've been working at since just before the PlayStation 4 came out.
Mm-hmm.
And all of a sudden I'm working 65-ish hours a week between two jobs. So it came down to now I have very little time, and it was, how do I want to spend that time? Then there was this drought for video games that occurred after like December, and it never really redeemed itself until March when Titanfall and Infamous Second Son came out, which I own both, and I enjoyed Titanfall. I enjoy it so much that I actually bought Danner an Xbox One and a copy of Titanfall just so I can play with him. Which we've done very little of since I bought that. And then something really interesting happened when I was playing Infamous. I love the Infamous games. They're really good superhero games. And love them. And Second Son I was really excited for, and I get it, and I'm playing it. And I don't really consider myself a trophy whore or an achievement whore. Mm-hmm. Like very rarely will I ever go out of my way to grab a trophy that I can't get just by playing the game. However, there was something really weird happen with the trophy syncing for Second Son, where halfway through my playthrough as going down the good path, the trophies stopped syncing. And I ended up beating the game, and it robbed me of some 10 to 15 trophies that I did not get, and the only way to get them is to play through the campaign as good again.
Oh, jeez.
And I'm like, you know what?
Screw it.
I have no desire to do that. And so I was like, okay, well, I'll try playing it on the bad side, because I'll just go through on bad and I'll grab because some of the trophies are like good, bad, agnostic. They're just, do so many things while you're playing the game. Mm-hmm. And so I could get them while I was playing on the bad side, but at the same time, the experience of the game was already tarnished by the fact that it had broken. And so I was like, I don't even feel like playing this anymore. Like I'm really irritated with this game. Um, so I just stopped playing it, and that was March. All of April went by. I didn't play a single game. Most of May has gone by. Most of May went by before Watch Dogs hit,
Mm-hmm.
which has been heralded as the first true next gen game. But I kind of disagree with that, considering that it's on PS3 and 360 as well, which means it wasn't. It was kind of designed to scale across multiple platforms rather than being geared towards one set of specs.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I'm enjoying that game, but I've maybe played for, I don't know, maybe 10 hours in the last week, and I've only done 4 story missions.
Wow.
The rest of the time, I'm just walking around Chicago, hacking people's phones and wiping out their bank accounts.
Wow.
And it was just really interesting. I don't know what it is. I'm gonna play more. Like I said, I'm having fun. I'm enjoying it. It's really pretty. It's probably not the best PS4 game I've seen. Like I think the Tomb Raider Ultimate Edition looks better. I think Infamous looks better. But I've had a lot of fun with it. Like we were doing Danner and Shanzi and I we got online with Watch Dogs, and we were just kind of comparing the character stats, and they were like, how much money do you have? How much, we're talking about how much money all of us have collected while playing the game, and they're all like, oh, I have 50,000. I've got just under 100,000. And I was like, I have over $300,000. Because all I do in the game is just walk around hacking people. Which is just fun and therapeutic. And every once in a while, you'll come across someone getting mugged, and then I'll run after the mugger and I'll club him over the head with my little nightstick. That makes me feel really special. The one thing I did do, and I can't really understand it because it's one of those games where you kind of play it the way you want. You can be non-violent and hack everything and be non-confrontational. Or you can go in guns blazing. And the way I've been playing it is non-confrontational. I've been hacking cameras, which then you can move to another camera so you get different viewpoints and you can see where all the guys are. And I went into a gun shop, and one of the sniper rifles they have in the game is a Barrett 50 cal. I was like, because that's necessary. So what did I do? I mean, that's my favorite sniper rifle. Granted, I've never shot one in real life. I don't think I ever could, but that's my favorite sniper rifle because I think it looks freaking awesome. And so I was like, I'll just go ahead and grab that because I have nothing else to spend my money on. So I bought it, and I went up on an overpass, and I just fired at some random civilian's car. It took 3 shots, and the car came to like a dead stop in the middle of the road, and some chick next to me on the bridge started calling 911 saying shots were fired. So I just ran after her, grabbed her phone, and threw it on the ground and said, you stop that. So I mean, the story's kind of contrived. It's like, I guess your niece died because of something that you did, and now you're trying to get revenge on the people that killed her.
So it's your basic average kind of Grand Theft Auto story a little bit.
Kinda. I mean, not more Punisher-esque than Grand Theft Auto. And I was kind of bummed that was like the story that they were going with. I mean, I knew that it was something like that. Actually, I thought it was a straight up Punisher story where your wife and kid died. But no, it's your niece that died, and then so you go after the people that killed your niece. And I'm just like, I found that out the other day, and I was kind of like, you know what? All of a sudden, I really don't care. About the character. So I've kind of been playing it the way that, the TV show Person of Interest is set up, where I'm just walking around trying to do the right thing by just keeping an eye on everybody that I see. And so that's pretty much it. And then I also downloaded Pixel Junk Shooter because that was out and it was free. Although I really wanted to pay for it because I like that game, but I haven't played it since I downloaded it. I don't know.
You remind me of our other buddy, Michael Wilson, who is a huge Transformers nut. He will buy Transformers toys at certain times of the year, and he will just not even open them, just throw them in his closet.
See, I don't know. I don't know what it is, and I'm looking at like I'm sure everything will change next week because next week is E3.
Mm-hmm.
But just from what I know that's coming out this fall, like everything's getting moved to 2015, and there are now just two more games that I can think of for the rest of the year, and I'm pretty sure after next week all of that will change because I'd be very surprised if we don't get like some kind of Grand Theft Auto announcement for the next gen consoles. Even if it's just a port of GTA 5.
That's all I friggin' want, dang it. Ever since you showed me like the first couple of missions on there, and I've been a Grand Theft Auto fan since about San Andreas, and it's like I understand that the company wants to be able to make their money with the console versions, but what has it been, a year since that game's been out or so? A year
This
or
fall,
two?
this fall will be a year.
Okay, so it's almost been a year. They haven't made their money back on that game yet. As popular as that franchise is,
Oh no,
give us a-
they've more than made their money back on that game. Like
Okay.
hand over fist. I just think that they still don't want people to be able to steal it.
But see, here's the thing. I'm willing to pay for the damn thing on my computer. Give it to me now.
You are, but the PC gamer in general probably isn't.
Oh.
And they care more about that than, the people like you that are willing to pay for it.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's just two games for the rest of the year that are on my list because, as we all know, Arkham Knight got delayed. Did not see that one coming,
I didn't either. I was kind of surprised.
especially after like a date was announced and it was like their date. They just kind of upped and moved it, but I don't know. It's from what I've heard, October now has like there are 16 AAA releases in October alone.
Wow.
I can't list all of them off the top of my head, but that won't be the case in the next couple months. They'll get pushed to like January, February, March, because that's insane. And then you have November, which will also have more AAA games released in them as well. So
What about you, Steve? What have you been up to?
Well, I started doing that new position this week.
Mm-hmm.
Not as difficult as I thought, but it is busier than I thought.
Yeah.
Well, we have 10 essentially rental cars for service and body shop and whatever.
Uh-huh.
And I've got 7 of them out at this point out of the 10, which is, I mean, it doesn't seem like a lot, but then they're going to throw 10 more on me by the end of the month. So I'm learning that job and getting more time to actually do my other part and actually get to look halfway decent and not have to wash cars anymore, which is nice.
Yes.
And then we are working on our stairs, getting ready to. I just painted all the backboards about an hour and a half ago, and then we're gonna stain and clear coat them this weekend. So we'll have hardwood floor on the stairs. And Tuesday we actually get the carpet for the living room in the basement, and I get to set that up. Yay! and then of course, as you can hear, I have cable internet.
Yes. Yes, you do.
I'm arguing with Comcast again, but that's an entirely different story.
That's a whole other episode. Arguments with cable companies.
It seems like a love-hate situation. I love the cable, but I hate them.
I wish I could have a bad experience with them.
I always have a bad
I
experience.
really wish I could because I always get what I want out of them.
Wait.
I never do.
Like, I don't know. I really don't know what it is. I don't know if it's because I walk that fine line between knowing what I'm talking about or knowing what I'm asking for,
Mm-hmm.
and basically asking for them to, and at the same time, asking for them to go easy on me. Like, I really want this, but I really don't know if you like have it. Because I remember when I switched from AT&T to Comcast,
Mhm.
I jumped ship because Well, first of all, I love Uverse. I think the internet is great from Uverse, and I had a pretty good deal going with them. And I was like 2 weeks from my promotion being up, and I called them. I said, "Listen, I just want to talk to somebody about the possibility of extending my promotion, or like how does the when it's up, what is it going to be, blah 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 blah." And the lady flat out told me on the phone. This is after I'd been like a subscriber for like 2 years. She was like, "Oh, you're currently in a promotion. We can't discuss anything with you until the promotion's over." I was like, "Oh, fine, bye." So I called up Comcast and I said, "Listen, this is what I've got with AT&T, and I really want I really want the 50 meg internet that you guys have, but it's not really like there, and the price isn't where I want it." And the guy came back and goes, "Well, I can do 30 meg internet for $35 a month." And that was both cheaper and faster than what AT&T was offering me. I was like, "Oh, well, yeah, sure, I'll take that." And then a month later, I got it bumped to 50 for 35. Because I called them back about a promotion that I had, and I was still under their 30-day guarantee. But I just called them back recently to get like their fastest tier internet, and I ended up getting their fastest internet with HD and TV and HBO for like $100 for 12 months.
Not bad.
And just their 100 meg internet by itself is like $105. So
See, I'm trying to go the route of I tried it with cable, but unfortunately, if you're trying to stay under the $50 price package, it's damn near impossible if you're trying to. So, like the cable channels that I would get was like 2 through 20, and the 25 meg internet, but I managed to get it dropped down to just the 25 meg internet without the TV, because I have another method that I'm going to be able to get TV without paying for it.
yeah, we have the TV, but I don't use it at all. Like we've never used it.
Well, they have these magic tuners that, if said person has antenna on house.
Oh yeah, I have that.
So
I never use it.
But I'm going to use that with a digital tuner and media player. But
Hey,
I'll get those.
Over the air HD is the best HD you can get.
I know.
So,
and I'll have it soon. But I got my internet dropped down to $19.99 for 6 months.
Cool.
So with the rental, I'm paying like $30. Starting next month. This month they racked it up for whatever reason. The current bill is kind of foobarred online, but they've added all these credits because they started charging me for these two $20 install fees of lines for the TV and the internet, and plus the $40 technician fee. And then they added my bill on top of it, and I'm like, hold it, what the hell are these for? I says, I didn't know I was going to be charged for these, and I'm paying for that linebacker. So, yeah.
When I called to switch to their fastest tier internet, the lady on the phone was like, I'm looking at it and it says that your modem doesn't support this fastest tier. I told her, I said, I'm looking on your website right now and it says that it does. So let's do this. How about you activate it on my account and I'll go restart my modem and then I'll do a speed test. And sure enough, I did it. She did it, and then I did mine, and sure enough, it's compatible with it. And she goes, but before we had like gotten to that step, she was like, "Well, this is what we'll do. I'll send you out the router, but I'll send you out the router that actually says that it works, just in case yours doesn't. But what I'll do is I'll credit your account the rental fee for the 12 months." So I wasn't going to have to pay anything for the rental. I was like, and I didn't ask for that. I didn't ask for it at all.
Nice.
So I don't know. I don't know what it's just got to be the way that I talk to them or something, like they're like they're human beings. I'm not you don't, but I'm just like, I don't know, because I've been like I've gotten AT&T to turn the tethering on my iPhones when I had the unlimited data plans, which they're not supposed to do. and then gave me back my unlimited data, which they weren't supposed to be able to do. Like I got them to do that for me. So I don't know. It's just my luck. Like I wish I could have a bad experience, just so I could know what it's like. But I always seem to get what I want out of them one way or the other.
Well, 2 days ago I got. Yeah, was it 2 days ago? Yeah, it was 2 days ago because I was trying to download all the rest of Beware the Batman, the season, because they have all the rest of it on torrent. So I did that, and then it kept my internet connection kept dropping down to like nothing. So I did a speed test, and it was showing I was getting 2 megabyte download speeds.
Like capital M, lowercase b?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I was pretty pissed, of course. So more or less sent them a message saying, what the hell? And I reset everything, reset my modem, then I disconnected from the connection, reconnected. I was getting 18. And then for whatever reason, that one night it was like all goofy, but I think I've talked to more customer service people than I care to in the last 3 days for them. Plus the modem, their wireless modems turn on this thing called Xfinity Wi-Fi. It's like a free Wi-Fi that piggybacks off your internet connection.
Okay.
And bandwidth. Even though they claim it doesn't, I did some digging and it does. So that they can have, as long as you're a Comcast subscriber, you can go pretty much anywhere where one of these are, and you can piggyback off any internet connection. So, which kind of pissed me off. And then I'm trying to log into it on the Xfinity account, and it comes up and says, "We're sorry, there's a problem encountered right here. Try again later," and it won't let you deactivate it.
Jeez.
So, like, I'm arguing with them over that now because I'm like, I don't want somebody just sitting on my internet connection.
Yeah.
So you can't get into the router settings?
I can, but they don't. That's not they have to turn it off from directly at Comcast, and you have to call the Wi-Fi department.
How about turning off the Wi-Fi and using your own wireless
modem?
router? Yeah.
I could do that, but it would still do the Xfinity one. The Xfinity one I have no control over through the router. It's something that they turn on from their end. It won't even let you see it in the router. The only reason I know it's there is because it gives me the option to connect to it.
Oh, now I'm definitely glad I didn't use their stuff.
Because it like I said, it pissed me off. I didn't have that problem before when I had it the last time. But I don't know if it's something new they're doing.
Who knows?
I don't know. They're rat bastards. That's all I know.
Speaking of cable issues, I've since, was it May? Yeah, May 30th, and about 2 days ago, 2 outages in my area by the same telephone pole or cable pole or what? Same pole. So somebody's messing with the thing outside that isn't supposed to be messing with it. So between the end of May and now, I've had 2 days where I've had no service for 16 plus hours. And I know Steve went through, a whole month and a half of no internet, but he knows that because I live my life online, he knows that if I'm 5 minutes without internet, I start going crazy.
Oh, no, I can totally understand that. I don't know what we would do in my house if the internet actually went down. I really... Well, that's one of the things that I actually liked about AT&T, about Uverse, is that when the power went out, we still had internet access. And I don't... Obviously, I don't know if that would be the case with cable. Maybe?
No, it's not. I can tell you it's not.
Well,
not with Time Warner, and Time Warner got bought out by Comcast, so Comcast will eventually come down here.
Okay, here's the thing. Let me rephrase that. I still had internet with AT&T because, one, it kind of comes over their phone lines, but it also, it piggybacks off their phone line to a point. But I also had a battery backup for the router. The modem and the router were on a battery backup in my house. So I'm actually wondering if I had a battery backup in my house for my modem and router now, if the power went out, if I'd still have cable or still have internet. Probably not though, because I'm pretty sure that it's cable is fundamentally different than a phone connection, because like phones are supposed to work even when the power is out.
Yeah.
Traditional phones.
If you have a battery backup and you have it hooked up to a generator, it will still work.
The cable will?
Yeah.
Oh, then I'm totally gonna go buy one.
Because my dad, I think, had his plugged in so that he could at least use it when we had those ice storms, and he lost power, which means that you lose your home phone if you have it through Comcast. Mm-hmm. So he got the power kicked back on through his generator and still had everything. But he's got a battery backup too next to his computer, so it gives him the ability to run everything.
Oh, then I'm totally going to invest in one of those this year. I could not. I don't know. Everything. That's one of the reasons I pay for the internet that I have, is because everything in my house runs on the internet, and I cannot bear for one thing to suffer
because of another.
Like, I want to be able to watch 2 streams of HD Netflix and run a torrent, as well as be able to play on, or as well as being able to game online without noticing that any one of those things is happening. And luckily I have not. So
as far as what I've been up to, I'm a podcasting fool. Last month I put out 13 pullback episodes celebrating 75 years of Batman.
Well, that's just Psycho there.
Yes. Well, you would know Joker. Let's see. I've gotten three interviews recently. One with the Turtles editor at IDW Publishing, Bobby Curnow. The other with Brian Ward from Shout Factory. I've been playing old Super Nintendo games recently. Let's see what else. Currently watching Transformers Armada, Energon, and Cybertron. Not too pleased about that, but at least Armada is nice because it has Gary Chuck and David Kaye as Megatron and Optimus. Got the Transformers Animated Complete Series set. We finally have Season 3 on DVD, so that's awesome, no matter what Optimus Solo says. Let's see, what else have I been doing? Exploring and giving and showing people on Facebook the new features of the Geekcast Radio Network's new website. I pointed out the random button to several people, and they're like, oh, I'll have to try that.
I think Mike was entertained with it for about a half an hour while he was talking to me the other day.
Half an hour? Are you kidding me? I'll sit there on the main page and just keep clicking it. I'll spend hours and hours and hours.
Well, that's just sad. I was trying to save you the humiliation of sitting there for that long.
Hey, let's see what else. I've got the M-Wire Thin Man spotlight kind of going on now. That's a 3-part episode arc reviewing the old William Powell Myrna Thin Man movies. Constantly aggravated by half the people that live around me. Thankfully, supposedly, the people upstairs across from me moved out, so that'll take care of half
your Twitter feed?
Half the drug problems that are plaguing this area. Let's see, what else? Just keeping stuff going for Geekcast Radio pretty much is what I've been up to.
I was beating my head against a brick wall the other day. I couldn't get the damn icons and the fonts to show up right in IE or Firefox. They work great in Chrome. And the sad thing is the beta versions of the site I was playing off of to keep settings correct. Everything showed up fine on all browsers. Did this one want to play nice? No.
And then, because of some weird plugin that you had to disable to find out what the heck was going on with the fonts, none of us could edit any of the posts.
Well, the first problem is the commenting system.
Yeah.
you couldn't read anything. It made the text the same color as the background. So I had to go in and I removed the plugin and I re-added the plugin and I did some other stuff. Still didn't matter. It was goofed up. So there was something else that was causing that. So I somehow fixed that, and then ended up with the font and icon thing, which turned out I just had to directly, because the CSS was pulling from like one of those. It does one of those dynamic pulls from the location on the server, and I had to actually directly link to the files. And then once I did that, everything showed up fine. So I did that, and then you guys were like, I can't see anything in the posts. And I'm like, I can see everything. And then the next morning, I'm like, I can't see everything. So I went in and I figured out it was one of the plugins I turned off trying to fix the other issue. So, but there is more stuff planned, though. There's going to be a login system for everyone and using social media, not having to actually register if they don't want to. I mean, you can, but you don't have to register either. But it's just for like we're gonna for like written reviews, or if people write certain things and want the ability to have the listener vote on it as well, like the topic, not necessarily their article, but just whatever if it's a film or a comic or something. You can turn on this feature so that they can actually vote right on the page in the bottom of the post.
Very cool.
Okay.
So it's something I'm working on. There's some other.
We also finished the. We also finally, after how many months of people reporting about the J bug, we finally
the Justin Bieber bug.
We finally figured out what the Justin Bieber bug was, because every now and then, and it never happened to me until one night we all got on Skype to record.
We were doing a meeting.
Yeah, we were doing the year-end meeting last year, and I'm like, son of a, it's happening to me now. What had happened was, if I refresh the site, it would do an auto redirect, and then it had some sort of weird embed link of Justin Bieber playing basketball of all things. But Steve, you fixed that.
Yeah, I had to wait for enough people to have the same issue, and it's related to a source of where you get a plugin. So, yeah, that's all I'm saying there. But I found out it was a code inside it, and you had to scan it with a separate program, and it would say, like, hello, here we go. Oh. So I removed that code because I had it pop up on me like 4 times on the news site, and I'm like, okay, I know it's not the theme now.
Yeah. No.
I'm like, it's something else. Oh. And so I did some digging and found it, but yeah, it was surprising to say the least.
I find myself in finality mode, and no, this has nothing to do with Mortal Kombat.
What's fatality?
Fatality.
Yeah, I know. This year we have 6 podcasts that will be coming to grand endings. Beyond the Night, Legends of the Dark Knight, the first out of the 4 episodes for the POG series, Tales of Eternia, Mass Mayhem, From the Command Center, and All Things Transformers will all be ending at some point in 2014. So Steve and I are really, really pumped what we're doing with All Things Transformers. Same thing with Legends of the Dark Knight, where stoked to be talking about Batman Beyond. It seems like Skeletor constantly beats Optimus Solo and I up because we just can't get episodes recorded. We're working on it. Same thing with Mass Mayhem. Miles Mayhem stole our microphones. And Command Center, the Power Rangers show, I'm not trying to,
Mike's burned out.
Shut up, damn it. Let me explain it eloquently. I'm not trying to alienate the fan base for that podcast, but I think at this point it's run its course, and I personally have absolutely zero interest in Power Rangers right now.
Yeah.
So that's what I've been up to.
I bought some Legos.
I still have some.
I bought bought the Ecto One.
Oh, did you?
Yep.
Oh, that's nice.
I bought that, and I bought the DeLorean from Back to the Future. Actually, my wife and I, we went down to Somerset, which, for those that don't know, is a high-end mall in Michigan. Yes, we do have them.
Yep.
But they have a Lego store down there, and the set came out on June 1st, and it was June 1st, and we were down there, and I decided to buy 5 of them. I bought one for myself to build and display, and then I bought one to keep in the box, unopened until it's like worth something, and then I'll try and sell it.
Yay.
I bought one to sell at the Geek sale this Saturday, which I'm going to try and get $60 for, because it's a $50 set, and if you order it from Lego, it ends up being like $60 with shipping. So I figured trying to get $60 for it, considering I had to drive down to Somerset and then bring it over to Grand Rapids, is fair. And then I bought a set for Joe and Danner for them to put together. The Ecto One, as one would imagine, is actually kind of cool. But the DeLorean leaves, as far as a Lego set goes, it leaves a lot to
Be desired.
to be desired. Yeah, it's not as detailed as I would have liked. You can't put the people in the DeLorean and close the door.
Oh.
Ooh.
Which, I mean, you can put them in there and leave the door, like the gull wing door, open. And it does do the really cool thing where it flips into hover mode. So you can, the kit actually includes pieces to do the DeLorean from all 3 movies.
Mm.
But I left it in Back to the Future too, because let's face it, the flying DeLorean is the best one. And it comes with Marty McFly and Doc, but the Ghostbusters one I think is my favorite. It it comes with all four Ghostbusters, and it comes with like proton. You make their proton packs and slap them on the back of them and stuff like that. And they actually all 4 of them actually do fit in the Ecto One, which is that's just night and day compared to the DeLorean. So, but I built them, and I took a lot of photos, and actually I took like step-by-step photos with my camera while I was building them. It was like every like 2 or 3 steps in the instruction manual, or whenever a big change happened, I snapped a pic of it and I posted it in 2 separate photo albums on Facebook. So yeah, they're really neat. Definitely for display. Like, I don't intend to ever play with them. I just basically built them and threw them on top of my entertainment center with my other Legos. But
Right. For me, what's sometimes that gets me really excited. I think was it last year? Yeah, it was last year that Top Gun had a re-release in theaters, right? It was
September.
Last September. And I was like, ooh, Top Gun in theaters, because obviously I was 6 years old when that movie came out, and I didn't see it then. I saw it on VHS like 2 or 3 years later. But so I went and saw that, and I'm really all for theatrical re-releases of classic and older films. Just recently, my local theater that I normally go to had a midnight showing of The Breakfast Club. If it wasn't at midnight, I would have loved to have seen that on the big screen. But in preparation for 30th anniversary, that this is actually going to center around the 30th anniversary for Ghostbusters, they are re-releasing the original film to theaters August 9th.
I just wish it was
29th.
I just wish it was this week instead of August.
Yes.
Like actual 30th
Yeah.
anniversary. But
That would have made more sense, yeah.
I'm more excited for the Blu-rays that are coming. I don't really have a desire to see it. It's only coming to 700 theaters, so I'm curious to see which ones will get it.
Yeah.
I mean, if one of the theaters near me gets it, I'll probably go and check it out. But I don't know. I'm excited to be able to pick it up on Blu-ray once and for all. So I'm just hoping it comes with special features, because that's the one thing that's kept me from picking up. I mean, this will be the 3rd time Ghostbusters has been on Blu-ray, and I don't think either of the first 2 have special features attached to them, which is just a travesty. So
It does say in the article that I linked you guys to, it's the first time 1989 sequel has been released on Blu-ray, and special features include a new conversations with director Ivan Reitman and Aykroyd, as well as deleted scenes from the sequel. Ghostbusters is still one of the studio's most beloved franchises, blah, blah, blah. I don't know what other features are going to be on it, but it does say new conversations with Reitman and Aykroyd. But I think that's for the second film, and I know everybody really I'm a big proponent of Ghostbusters 2. I love that movie. I don't care what anybody says.
of
I know
course you do.
Shut up. I know some people don't like it, but I like the first one as well, and I'm really interested to see what this new release is going to be all about. I don't know. I just like the idea of like I said a second ago, older films being re-released, whether it's just to promote a new Blu-ray set or not. I still enjoy, having that option.
What about Forrest Gump coming to IMAX?
Do we really need to see the box
Are you
of
serious?
chocolates in IMAX?
Why?
I don't know, because they can.
But what's the point in putting it in IMAX? It wasn't even shot in IMAX.
I know, right?
Lots of things weren't shot in IMAX that are in IMAX.
True,
I mean,
but
almost everything outside of Transformers, was it the second Transformers and the Dark Knight and the Dark Knight Rises, were, outside of those movies, everything else is pretty much like upscaled for IMAX. So
I know
I
a
don't
lot
know.
of people don't like watching movies on cable with commercials and all that stuff, but honestly, I've seen Forrest Gump so many times on TV between TNT, TBS, and all those other networks. That's not a movie. As much as I like and would like to see more classic film theatrical re-releases, that's not one of them.
life ain't a box of chocolates.
I don't know. I own that movie on Blu-ray. I don't think I've ever watched it. That's one of those ones that's still shrink wrapped for me.
I have very few of those movies left.
Oh, man.
All right, I'm gonna have to get going here soon. So I don't know if you guys want to keep talking or not, but I gotta bow out. So
I think we'll kind of end it anyway. We've kind of talked about other stuff. Plus, we've got part of last week that I'm going to slap on the end. So,
okie dokie.
Thank you for listening to Altered Geek Unlimited. You can contact us in the following ways. You can call the voicemail line 502-526-5821. You can email us feedback@geekcastradio.com. You can visit the episode post on the website. You can get a hold of us on the fan page on Facebook. You can find us on Twitter @GeekCastRadio, #AlteredGeek. My Twitter handle is @SCP21, and yours are, sirs?
TF2 and Mike.
At Booth Ninja 81.
So, as always, get altered, get geeky with the Altered Geeks. See you next time.
Bye.
Sprint honors Steve's Facebook post on our new network.
I have tickets to the show. Anybody wants them? Message me.
I'll take them.
I said to message me, not post it in the comments. I disregard your request.
Come on, man.
No, follow private message procedures. You went rogue, now look at us. Having it out in the comment section.
Dude, you've turned into a monster.
You made me this way.
We are back, and because we didn't mention this at the very beginning of the show, since we're closing it out here, this has been a Altered Geek Geekcast Radio crossover. Altered Geek, I believe it's episode 43? 42?
42.
42. This is Altered Geek episode 42, and this is Geekcaster Radio episode 64. My idea behind this was Steve and I would just do a straight cold opening, not do any real introductions, and just have a discussion. And for GCR, it's going to be Random Fandom Part 1, because I'm going to be doing multiple episodes of this for GCR at some point in the future. So yeah, now we go to the Altered Geek feedback, because we need to bring up the feedback from last week's Altered Geek episode. So take it away.
So, last week anyway, we were talking about TV shows, cable, season finales, everything else along those lines. So, we have a couple questions. One comes from Justin Washington saying, so what do you guys do when the shows end for the summer and we get into repeats? Any under-the-radar show you can recommend to get into during the summer?
That's kind of what I was alluding to earlier in this episode. I don't notice a lot of repeats because I don't watch the big networks as much as I used to, like, say, 15 years ago. With all the cable stuff that's going on right now, it's almost like there are no repeats because cable networks just there'll be a random episode of let's say Rizzoli and Isles or White Collar or Breaking Bad or something like that. There'll be a random episode of that, but they usually just start new shows. Like AMC has like 3 or 4 new shows starting this summer, I think. FX has at least 4 or 5 new shows starting this summer. Yeah, I'm not watching anything that's right now going on during the summer, so there's not much I can recommend.
The only one I'm really watching is Continuum.
Mm-hmm.
Because it started like a couple months ago. I think it's on like episode 9 or episode 8 or something like that for the season. And I watch Who's Line, which is kind of in there and out there. It's random, but it's been going on part of the time anyway. And truthfully, there's not really that much different than any other episode when you watch it, but I enjoy it. I have every season downloaded because they don't want to put them out on DVD, which is crap.
Yeah.
Because I like getting the blooper reels, and I have the one DVD that came out a while back, but I mean that's pretty much the only show I watch. I don't really have a lot of the cable channels. Usually when, for whatever reason, Comcast for one of the lower cable packages comes with 20 some odd channels, 25 megabit internet, and HBO for 2 years. I have not really cared for anything I've seen on HBO. So I don't really watch it. I've tried watching some of the shows on it. I watch some of the movies occasionally, but it depends on how many times they play them. I think when I had HBO before, because they played the movies so many times, I saw Now You See Me probably 50 times. And there were a couple other movies that were like that I saw. What was the other one? It was the other Magic one that had Steve Carell in it. The incredible Burt Wonderstone. I think I saw that just as many times. I can almost quote the movie. I've seen it so many times. So I mean, it's not bad. It's just they don't seem to play anything new. And I don't really watch TV shows off of those because I just call it what you will, call it poor taste, call it just personal preference. I don't care for any of it that's on there. I don't really go towards the medieval or the, for like, if they had things like Game of Thrones or, whatever, I don't get into that kind of stuff. That's stuff that my wife gets into more than I don't really watch any of that. And then I've tried watching Silicon Valley. It's interesting, but I found it very boring. Again, that's just my personal opinion. I watched a few episodes of it. I don't really like dry humor.
Dry.
Office Space was an exception.
Yeah.
But I for some reason, it doesn't resonate with me. So,
I think one of the few times I've gotten into like medieval kind of stuff was, and I know you hate this movie, A Knight's Tale. I love that movie.
I hate it. I just
You just don't think there should be rock music in the Middle Ages.
no, I don't even hate that. I just don't care.
Yeah.
It's I'm not real big into that era.
No. What else we got for feedback?
Um, well, there was the comment about oversaturation in news and marketing.
Mm-hmm.
And which everybody kind of jumped all around.
Yeah.
Various answers.
Yes.
Some of them not to certain people's liking.
Go read the comments on the latest AGU episode, people.
Yeah.
That's all I'm not retreading that discussion.
Yeah. But I did like Brian Jackson's comment about he really sees both sides and agrees that it's easy to avoid the hype, but there's just so much of it anymore, which I totally agree. And then, of course, he says people are so worried about content not giving legitimate opinions, which you can never worry about us not giving our opinion here on Geekcast Radio Network.
Exactly.
Because we're always full of our opinions. Even if you don't like them, we've got them. We've all been bashed for it at one point, but again, it's an opinion, and I mean, for the most part, we try and back them up with reasons, at least. And then he says not to brown nose, but that's why I like Geekcast Radio Network, because recently it appears it's more about the people, less about the opinions, and then just empty news. Love giving all the sides and different takes. Too often sites are just robots and spew the same opinion over and over and over, which we do tend to evolve over time with our opinions. We don't, like, as you know, you've seen with this show, it's we went batshit crazy when Affleck was cast as Batman, and then we were fine with it. And then, you know, for instance, now there's the rumor that Joker might be in the film, which I think is a huge mistake. But if they do it, they do it. I think it's too soon. I mean, if they're going to do the Legion of Doom, he wasn't in that anyway, so it doesn't matter. So, but, you know, again, what they're going to do, what they're going to do, and hopefully it works out for the best. But it's one of those kind of scenarios, you know, you kind of know where everybody's going to get on their soapbox, and you know whether it's going to be good or it's going to be bad. So,
and see, that's the thing. Lately, like I said earlier in this episode, I have been holding. That's usually why I sometimes will bring up stuff that you and Booth have already talked about, because I may not have been on that episode of Altered Geek on the Altered Geek side. But I have been holding my tongue on a lot of my opinions on a lot of the stuff. From
now, are you
Batman.
holding it because you don't want to get bashed, or because you're waiting to see more legitimate information before making an opinion?
I want more. The bad suit is the bad suit. I honestly want to see. I mean, I like the new bad suit. I honestly want to see like a full. God, no, I don't want to see. I was gonna say full frontal, but no, I want to see like a head. I want to see like a headshot or a
That's what she said too.
How long is this?
Proceed.
I want to see like a headshot photo of Affleck in the suit or something. Like, I want to be able to see him, and the image we've seen so far is basically just him looking down like a sad Batman.
Like the
You
meme.
know, yeah. But I keep. I guess it's not more so that I want to hold my tongue in fear of me getting bashed for just putting an opinion out there, or it's not so much as me waiting for more information. It's me waiting to see what other people say, and then form my own opinion once I see whatever it may. If it's Man of Steel 2, or if it's whatever, if it's X-Men 7 or 8 or whatever the hell number they're up to now. um, I'm more so holding my tongue because I want to see if, number one, I want to see the whatever it is, film, TV show. I want to see it and make my own opinion, but I want to see what other people are saying first at this point. It's kind of like if you were in an office and you're the last guy at the water cooler and you just hear the remnants of everybody else's conversation. That's kind of what I've turned into. Oh, God. I just realized I'm almost becoming a Milton. Oh, God. I'll put strychnine in the guacamole.
I believe you have my stapler.
Yes, I believe you have my stapler.
If you could
What
just
other...
do that, that would be great.
Yeah. Don't forget those TPS reports. What else we got for feedback?
All right. Yeah, Jared Kessler says, backing up Brian, that he says, I was getting to the point with all the crazy hype and over marketing was driving me buggy. I cut the cord as much as possible. Did some serious Facebook and Twitter trimming, which I do depending. I usually just put filters so I don't have to see certain comments about certain things. Like whenever Bieber pops up in the news and get glue or
Now,
points.
that's another thing.
I never have to see those again.
Yeah. Well, now that
From anyone.
Yeah. Now that Get Glue has become TV tag, I find myself using it less and less. Not that I dislike the new direction, but it's not as addicting as it used to be because they alienated a lot of their user base when they cut out a lot of different things that you could check into. Every now and then you'll see me checking in to get a sticker for a TV show I might be watching or something like that, but like right now, there are no TV shows that I'm watching that I have the absolute need to check into. So I have almost stopped using TV Tag altogether. What else?
Well, going through some more. Justin Washington also says, I don't see Batman vs. Superman becoming a header for each movie like The Hunger Games or Twilight. That's normal for book adaptations to do, but I assume the title will be different for the Justice League films. At least I hope so. Otherwise, you'll have Batman and Superman fighting every movie.
Yeah, I can see it. Yeah, Batman versus Superman. I think they're just doing that for this coming up film in 2016. Because here's the thing: what if Batman versus Superman: The Dawn of Justice is the first Justice League movie? It's what you and I have been saying.
Well, I've been saying that since day one, but
Yeah,
especially with the casting of other people, call it what it is, people.
mm-hmm.
But also, I think DC is trying to go in a different direction. I think
Mm-hmm.
some of those characters are going to get their own films, like obviously Batman at some point. The rest of
Yeah.
them, it's kind of up in the air, depending on their popularity in the combined films. But I think that DC is going to jump, instead of doing all these individual films and then leading up to a big film, I think they're just going to do a bunch of big films. I think they're going to do like Star Trek. They're going to have, their 6 big films right in a row of the Justice League, and then they may sprinkle one in between here or there, but they're not going to do like Iron Man 1, Iron Man 2, Captain America, Thor,
Right,
blah blah
right.
blah, and then Avengers, and then 50 other films, and then Avengers 2, and
Yeah.
it's I think it's going to be all one. It's going to be a 6-part film, or it's going to be a 4-part film, or depending on whatever they decide to adapt. And honestly, they should have called this film World's Finest
Yeah.
rather than Batman versus Superman. It sounds so. I'm trying to find the right word, but it sounds so dumb compared to it because
It's a giant superhero fight tease, is what it is.
if you're going to have Batman versus Superman, it almost sounds like Freddy versus Jason
Yeah.
or Alien versus Predator. Let's see,
Yeah.
those films were crap.
Yeah.
Entertaining, but crap because they had the verses in there.
Yeah.
So I can kind of see that they're, that's why they had to add the subtitle Dawn of Justice.
Mhm.
But it should have been World's Finest, Dawn of Justice.
Yeah. Well, you know what I want out of Justice League movies? I want them to just do straight adaptations, like what they're doing with the animated films. Honestly, I would love to see a live action New Frontier adaptation. I know it probably will never happen because it needs to be in, today's, to keep the audience of the mainstream audience of today, it needs to be some sort of today kind of thing. I would love to see them do a live action adaptation of Year One, Year One's not technically a Justice League movie.
Well, they already did that.
No, I know.
Batman Begins.
Yeah, well, yeah, I know. I'm trying to think of Justice League stuff. Doom. I would love to see a live, adaptation of Doom.
See, and that could work as a Justice League film, being that, it could be one of the Justice League films.
Right.
Like you could have War be the end, like be one of them, and you could have Doom be one of them. I mean, or completely original stories, but it's I don't know how we keep getting on that soapbox, but it's so easy to do.
I know. But, most of the GCR listeners haven't heard that before, so there you go.
True. And then Beyond Humor, which made it, humorous part of it, it says, are people really calling Frozen a masterpiece? I know people like it and Let It Go is everywhere, but I haven't heard anyone call it a masterpiece. And then I couldn't help myself. You said I've heard several of my Facebook friends call it that, and then I said I wish people would, in terms of Frozen, let it go away and bring me another Pixar film already.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of people throw the word masterpiece around when it comes to Frozen. Frozen is by no means at all in my top 20 Disney films of all time. In my personal top 20, if I was going to make a top 20 right now, Frozen would be like 21, 22. It wouldn't even make the list. Even after me getting over everybody being so excited about it and talking about Let It Go and just people saying online, drop everything, go see this film now, it's the best thing ever. I waited a long ass time. I saw it. The whole time I was more sympathetic towards the younger sister and liked her and her character development better than the older sister. And other than that, I just didn't care for the movie at all.
I decided to leave the theater.
At what point?
I'm
Beginning,
joking.
middle, or end?
I didn't go see it in theater, I don't think.
Oh, okay.
No, I didn't.
Okay. I don't see why. I don't see in that film what everyone else sees, apparently, as far as them calling it a masterpiece. And apparently now it's like 5th of all time box office or some stupid
Well, yeah,
record
they wouldn't
like
let
that.
it leave the box office.
I know.
It's like, we can't miss it if it never leaves.
Yeah, really.
It's like that bad relative that just won't go home.
Oh
I
my
told
god.
you to get your ass out of my house. I can't help it.
Oh my god, that reminds me of the Bob Rivers group, the Christmas comedy group. Oh my god, that's so awesome. Oh, yeah. Anyway, um, anything else? Because I really need to get to bed, honestly.
No, I was done anyhow. I gotta edit.
Yay, edit.
I will say this. Geekcast Radio will be new soon.
Very new. Bright, shiny, and new. Absolutely.
It's gonna be spanking new.
Yep. Brand spanking new Geekcast Radio. We are shattering the glass on everything, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, up is down, down is up, left is right, right is left.
The
Diagonal
Geekcast.
is squared.
Oh, I thought you were gonna pull a Robin from Young Justice. Diagonal is just agonal. It's kind of like, why is everybody underwhelmed or overwhelmed? Why can't anybody just be whelmed?
Why do people have to be whelmed?
Yes. To borrow a tagline from one of the original Spider-Man movies, the GCRN world is going to be turned upside down.
So, you know, black is white, and white is black.
Blue is red, and blue and red together are purple, and Decepticons rule the universe.
Yeah. So if you could do that, that would be great.
Unleash the geek in you. We will catch you next time.